Hi, welcome to Chef Maxwell's Kitchen. We're here at the Farm Bureau. We're working with some great Virginia food, and we're getting ready for a wonderful, wonderful season. We're going to be playing with something a little different today. We've done this once before on the show, and it's the Chesapeake Ray. It's an animal that comes into the Chesapeake Bay every spring, sticks around. I'm sure if you've been to the Chesapeake Bay, you've seen these things swimming, but we're going to eat it. And we're going to eat it in a soup. It's a very special soup. It comes to us from Mexico, but it uses lots of great Virginia vegetables in the process. Down there, it's billed as a hangover soup. And I thought this might be just the perfect touch for Cinco de Mayo, which is coming up in a little while. What I've got here, what I've started out with, is some flour and fat to make a roux. That's equal weights of fat and flour. In this case, the flour is a whole wheat, is a white wheat flour, and the fat is lard. All right, so I've got that turned on, and it's gotten brown now. So it's a brown roux. All right, we'll just stir this around a little bit more, and we're going to add some garlic in here. All right, and let that cook a little bit, and we're going to add some onions. All right. And we're going to add some more onions. All right, so you got onions and garlic in there, and we're going to cook this just for a little while until the onions begin to clear up and the roux is nice and thick. It should be about the color and texture of peanut butter. It's just about there. All right, now I'm going to add some tomatoes. This is roughly a can of diced tomatoes. You can use fresh. A little early in the season for fresh tomatoes. We get that stirred around. All right, and we're going to add some stock. Now the stock, you can add any kind of stock you want. Shrimp stock, fish stock. I'm adding chicken stock because it's the one that's most universally liked. So we're going to add some chicken stock, all right, to that. And stir that around and bring it up to a boil. All right. And we're going to season it with some oregano, all right, and some cumin. Cumin is what gives chili its unique flavor and aroma. So we'll put a little bit of cumin in there. We're going to throw a little bit of Tabasco sauce in there. All right. We'll throw some celery, all right, and let that simmer for a little bit. All right. While it's simmering, I'll talk to you about this salsa. This is just a commercial brand of salsa. You can use any brand that you want. The original recipe called for green chili salsa, which is a little too spicy and doesn't have all the nuances that I like to have for this soup. So this is like dip salsa. All right. So we're just going to throw about a cup of that in here. All right, stir that up again. All right, and there it is. Now once this comes to a boil, which it's almost at now, we're going to add carrots, diced, right, and green beans, cut up. I blanched both of those off to kind of reduce the cooking time a little bit, but you don't have to. You can use them straight out. And now you can see this is the basis of a really great vegetable soup. Now, the only thing that's left for us to do is to add the Chesapeake Ray. And that's going to take about 10 minutes for this to simmer, thicken up nicely, and have the flavors develop before we can add the Chesapeake Ray to it. So we're going to take a little bit of a break. We're going to wait for this to get to the right temperature, and then I'll show you about the Ray. Welcome back to Chef Maxwell's Kitchen. We're here at the Farm Bureau, and we're playing with the Chesapeake Ray, which is a stingray. You know, in 1609, I think it was, John Smith got stung by one of these things, and that's how Stingray Point got its name. But we're playing with just the wings of this animal. Right? It's very low in fat, less than 0.5%, very high in iron. Right? And we're just going to cut this up into small pieces. Right? You can see it looks almost like a flank steak. It's got a very beefy kind of taste to it. And we're making hangover soup. Special soup for Cinco de Mayo. All right, we're going to add the Chesapeake Ray right into it. All right. Now, it should not take very long at all for this very hot liquid, it's at 200, 210 degrees, to cook this ray. And you don't want the ray to cook too much anyway, because it's got so much iron and so little fat that it'll get tough and it'll get gamey. And so we're in here. So here we go. All right, we're going to put some of this soup in here. Smells delicious. That cumin, tomatoes, and we've got Hangover soup from Baja, Mexico, featuring all Virginia products. Now, this is one of the best ways that I know of to play with Virginia food. Everything in here is Virginia, and everything in here is fresh with the season. We will see you next time when once again we get a chance to prove that it's okay to play with your food. For more delicious recipes using Virginia-grown fruits and vegetables, contact Lisa Lloyd at the Virginia Department of Agriculture and Consumer Services at 102 Governor Street, Richmond, Virginia, 23219.